What's up guys, welcome back to Grafting Dragon Fruit. It's Richard, and in this video I'm going to show you guys a new trellis that I just discovered that's going to make growing dragon fruit so convenient for you guys. If you're ready, let's go check it out. I want to introduce to you guys the VEGO dragon fruit trellis. So in this box here has everything you need to jumpstart your dragon fruit journey. So if you guys are ready, let's crack this box open, see what's inside, and set it up, and let's get started. All right guys. This is gonna be a game changer for all those people that don't have access to cedar wood. I think that's one main question I ask is, where do you buy cedar wood? And I know that's a special wood that usually can only be found in lumber stores, so you won't find it in like your big box stores or your commercial grade stores. You kind of have to go to a lumber store to get that type of wood. And over here in California, I only know about maybe 2 stores that has the cedar wood. So I'm very excited to see what this trellis is all about. It looks very durable. It has rollers on the bottom. And for people that live in cold or very hot states, I can see this becoming very useful for when you guys need to move that plant around. If you grow it in the traditional trellis like I do now, you guys already know that once it's there, it's gonna be a little hard to move around. But this is gonna give you that freedom to kind of shift it anywhere you guys need. So if you want to protect it from the cold, you can push into your garage. If it's too hot in an area with too much sun, you can push into shade. But today, I'm gonna be planting some of my new varieties in this and testing it out to see how it all grows. Okay, so this looks like the poles that's gonna go on here. We got that box. Ooh, this looks like it's the base of it. Very cool. Pretty sure this is the top part. You guys know the top canopy part. This looks like that's where it's gonna belong. Oh, we have another box, and I believe this is the container. So we're gonna have to open that and check that out as well. Oh, just kidding. Look, this is the container. I got the olive green color because it just matches with all of my dragon fruit, and it's gonna blend in, making it look really nice. So aesthetically, I really like how this already looks to my traditional trellis. So I'm very excited to put it all together and see how it looks. We have a bag here with hardware and safety edging. That's just smart because these edge here, I can see some kid might come, put their hand on it and can easily get cut, but this should protect that. And of course, it comes with a manual on how to put everything together. So definitely check this out before getting started. And that's it. So, have a good amount of pieces here to put together. All set and done. This VEGO dragon fruit trellis here took me about 30 minutes to build it with my brother-in-law, but I can see if you were to build it alone, it'll probably take about 45 minutes to an hour, which I still think is pretty quick and convenient, because when you build my traditional trellis that you guys see on all of my dragon fruits here, you're gonna have to cut the wood and build the parts and put it all together. So that alone there takes some time, and sometimes it gets so long where I have to finish it the next day. But with this here, everything came together. I didn't have to cut or place any pieces to make it into the dragon fruit trellis that I want. It's all already ready for you to assemble. So once you put it together, this is what you're gonna get here. So it's about 5 foot tall. And that's the length or the height that I always recommend, because it just makes it easier for you to harvest, maintain, and just take care of your dragon fruit without the hassle of bringing out a ladder or to reach parts that are too high for you. So 4 to 5 feet is perfect height for the dragon fruit trellis. So I'm very surprised and happy that they made it that height. Another thing is this is only about 30 or 34 pounds to be exact. And let me show you guys. I can lift this by myself and I'm like doing curls with it. So it may look like it's heavy, but it's not, you guys. It's only 34 pounds. My trellis here easily can be double this weight. So I already know that this is a lot lighter, but also very durable. We have stainless steel container part here, so the water won't damage it and no rust will happen. These poles here too are also stainless steel, so it's gonna hold up all of that weight once the dragon fruit builds its canopy. And the plastic we have here is called PP plastic. And if you guys don't know what it is, Google it. I don't want to say it because I might butcher it, but it's the type of plastic that is chemical free and toxic free. So you don't have to worry about your plants getting any of those bad plastic that causes cancer. You guys know it's going to be safe for you to eat your fruits while you're growing in this trellis. And another cool thing is, if you guys look inside, they have these smart wicking cells here that collects reclaimed water, and it's going to eventually water and nourish your dragon fruit over time, and it doesn't evaporate right away. So I can see me not having to water this until another 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm gonna have to play with it to be sure to see how long it is. But I thought it was really cool where they have these trays, the water gets reclaimed in there, and it's just going to continue to use all of that water until it evaporates all, or the dragon fruit drinks it all. So that's really cool. But other than that, look at a beauty of the trellis this is, you guys. I love it. It's gonna be my first time trying and using it, and it hits all of the requirements that I need when I build a trellis. And the cool thing about it is it's very convenient. You don't have to go out to buy anything. You could literally click a button, it gets shipped to your door, and you have a trellis ready to jumpstart your dragon fruit journey. And I think that's the main key here, guys, is I know when you get a lot older, it's harder to build the trellis on your own, and you need special tools like a saw cutter, power drill and all that stuff, screws. It's a lot of work to build a trellis, I'm not gonna lie, but with this, everything came in one box, made it super easy. So I'm very excited now to use it. And as you guys can see, I have my cuttings here that's been rooting. So I'm ready to start putting some cuttings in here and get stuff planted. So let me just lock the wheels here. There you go. And that's another cool thing, guys. They got wheels that lock, so you know, on a windy day, or if you guys have a slanted hill, it's gonna keep it pretty sturdy there. And if you guys needed to move it away from the sun or in the shade, then you guys can do that, okay? All right, so these cuttings here have been rooting since the beginning of fall. So they've been just kind of sitting in my shed. I have a bunch of different varieties in here, but I'll choose which one I want to throw in there. And I have some soil here that I actually made. This is soil that now I'm starting to make that's similar to Gary's Best topsoil. And you can find all of this in my channel on how to make your own dragon fruit soil. So I've made this with Alan a few months back, and I haven't used it all yet. So this is going to be a great opportunity for me to go ahead and use all of this soil. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling that up. So this soil here consists of decomposed granite, perlite, and pumice. There's really only 3 ingredients in here, and it's super easy to make. You guys can find all of that information in my channel. So if you guys want to start making your own soil that drains well and make sure that they don't get the root rots or maybe holding too much moisture, I really recommend you guys start making your own soil. It's cost effective and it works very well for dragon fruit. And another thing is, it also acts as a permanent soil. So I've been talking about permanent soil a lot. Permanent soil is great because it doesn't have any organic matter in there that decompose. I used to use Fox Farm, and when I was using Fox Farm, it was decomposing because it has so many organic material in there, like leaves, mulch, forest debris, stuff like that that can break over time, and your soil will start to go down, and what's left is just your roots. The permanent soil will not do that. Permanent soil will just stay at its level. It's a sterile soil. So the downfall is you just have to fertilize more often than when you were to use organic soil. So the only downfall for making this soil is you just have to fertilize more often. But I think that's a good trade-off versus decomposing soil and eventually just rotting and causing problems for the roots later down the line. So now that we have permanent soil, I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. I can just confidently have my dragon fruit growing in here for 10 to 20 years if I wanted to. And all I have to do is just be on top of my watering and my fertilizing. Okay guys, so this container here is actually pretty good in size. I've put a good amount of scoops in here and it hasn't reached to the level I want yet. So let me just go ahead and try to work a little quicker. If I were to guess how many gallons this is, I would like to say it's about 25 gallons or a little more. It's pretty good size. So if you're worried about this container or this trellis not having enough space for your dragon fruit roots, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. Because let me just grab my container and show you guys the size difference. I don't think so. That's why the reclaim is pretty cool. Okay. Okay guys, here we have the 25-gallon container here, and we have the VEGO garden dragon fruit trellis, and it looks pretty similar in size to me, so I can confidently say it's between 20 to 25 gallons, if anything a little more. So I was talking about fertilizing, and you know how with this type of soil, the permanent soil, where you have to fertilize more often. And I did mention to you guys about the smart wicking cell that this has here. It does not run off and leave this container. So once you're watering, a lot of that nutrients that you've been putting in there, the fertilizer, will sometimes just run off, and not all of it gets used by the plant. This trellis system here will reclaim all of that nutrient, the water, the fertilizer. It just sits at the bottom of the cells that are wicking it all up. And I can see that it's just continue to keep on using that fertilizer until it completely runs out. So you might not even have to fertilize that often because of this trellis. So I want to see if that's true, and I'll put it to the test, and I'll let you guys know in a future video. But other than that, I'm just so excited to introduce this trellis to my garden. It's something nice and fresh to my eyes. And once I have new stuff to play with my dragon fruit, it gets me so excited and I get very involved with it. So don't be surprised if you guys see like 3 more of this in the future if it starts to work very well for me. Okay, I'm getting very close to where I want to be with my soil. And wow, it is holding a very good amount of soil. I'm very happy with this. I finally finished putting all of the soil in to fill this container, and it took a lot more soil than I thought. So at first I was guesstimating about 20 to 25 gallon, but after completing it with the soil, I can confidently say this is about 25 to even 35 gallon of soil. It took all of the soil in my wagon. I was expecting to have a little bit left, but nope, I poured everything in, filled it up to almost the top here. And I think this is a great amount of soil because I don't want it to be too much where water is going to start overflowing. So I'm ready to start planting my dragon fruit cuttings. So this is the fun part for me, you guys. I have a good amount of varieties here that I need to plant. And these are some of the varieties that are very new and hasn't been released yet. So I want to probably put cherry gushers or Jurassic guava in here. And once I thought about it, I think Jurassic guava would just fit in here perfectly because the color of this kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Jurassic guava variety in this trellis, see how it grows, see all the progress, and definitely do more updates on this once it starts to progress. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and find the cuttings that we need. So I've been just rooting this, you guys, in water. So I have a bucket here with water. And during the winter time, they don't really grow because it's way too cold. So what I do is I'll put them in my shed, kind of put them in an area where I know it won't get too cold, and hope that roots produce. So I would say 80% of these cuttings in here have already rooted. And once they root like this, even if they have a small amount of root, they're ready to be planted into soil. So if you guys see roots popping right out, they already know to keep on pushing out more roots so you don't have to wait any longer. Go ahead and take them out and plant them into your permanent container. All right, Jurassic guava has been, I think, one of my most favorite varieties from last season. when I first got to try it, I was just so surprised of how delicious this variety tasted. The bricks of it was 19% for a first fruit, so I have very high hopes of what this is going to continue to, give me. Very excited to see more of this fruit this season. So, because I loved it so much, I had to create a mother trellis, and I talk about this with everybody. When I grow them, I graft them, and they're on one single rootstock, so there's not a lot of plant material for me to pass out. So for me to have more cuttings and for me to have more plant material to sell to you guys, so you guys can all get a chance to grow this beautiful and wonderful tasting variety, I have to create a mother trellis, and that's when I put 4 cuttings of the same variety into a permanent pot. So that's what we're doing today, so that way, in the long run, we can get way more Jurassic guava cuttings to put on the website. All right, so this one too, really good roots. So there was 2 thoughts of mine, you guys, when I wanted to plant this in. I was thinking, do I put it to the center or do I tie it to close to the poles so that way it can climb and just trellis over? And once I put more thought into it, I was like, you know what, everything should always be centered, weight centered, so if it does grow, the weight of it is in the center so it won't topple over. So if you guys are planning to get this trellis, I highly recommend you guys plant the new cuttings on the center of your trellis, okay? So that's that. But I think it would also look pretty cool climbing up here, but it's gonna get blocked here. Once it goes through here, it can just go through one of these. All right. Okay, so here's another one. And this one, as you guys can see, has only one singular root, but as long as it roots, then I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead now, put it on this side. And I wanna put only about 1 inch into the soil, not too much. You guys don't want to plant the cutting in there. Sometimes the flesh rots, and that's not what you want. Okay, I got 3 in there. I gotta just search for 1 more of my Jurassic guava cutting. All right, here we go. Last one, Jurassic guava. This one has really nice roots. Very happy with this one. Okay, I think everything looks great. Let me just check to make sure I got everything that I need. All right, we're good. I had to plant those into another trellis once I start building them again, but happy to get 1 mother plant started. All right, last but not least, guys, is to make sure you secure your cuttings with some garden tape. You can use, I've seen people use old soil bag where they just rip them up and make this. It's the same thing. You guys can totally use that, but if you guys have garden tape like this at home, it makes things a lot easier. So what we're doing now is just making sure that it's not going to topple over when you're watering them, or if wind comes by or someone comes and accidentally knock it over. You don't want that to happen. So securing them is going to make sure that everything stays nice and tight. You don't need too much, and as it keeps growing, you guys want to continue to tie that until it gets to the top. And once it gets to the top, you guys crop the top and let it canopy over. But we're in the early stages, so we don't have to worry any of that for now. All we have to do is nurture it, make sure it roots well, and when it finally pushes out new growth, that's when we'll lead the main branch, is what I call it, to the very top, and then we'll create our umbrella canopy once it gets to that stage. All right, it's looking good. So another thing I want to show you guys is, let me just unlock the wheels. Even though it has this much soil in and it looks like it's very heavy, check out how easy it is for me to move around. I'm literally dancing with it. So, very cool. Love how the wheels work still so good, even with all of that soil weight in there. And if you guys know the new soil that I use, it's a lot heavier than your other soils that we normally use because it has decomposed granite. And what that is essentially grinded up rock. So it can get pretty heavy. And if you're using sand as well, that can also get it to be more heavy. Last step is to water this, get it nice and drenched. I know that it's already rooted, so it can be in the sun. But I don't want to put too much, I don't want it to be in too much sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in an area that's partially shady and partially sunny and slowly acclimate it back to the sun. because it's been sitting in my shed for about, I want to say 3 months now. So it's used to not having full sun hitting at it. When you guys are rooting it in your garage or in your shed, make sure you acclimate your cuttings back to the sun. And you just do that by putting it into the sun for a couple hours a day and moving it back into shade. And every week you just give it a little bit more hours of sunlight. So that's a little tip to you guys there. Make sure you do that. And if you guys don't do that and you put it in the sun right away, it's gonna get sunburnt or sun scorched, and you guys do not want that to happen. Okay, I've got a good amount of water in there. It's filling up. I'm gonna wait for it to drain down. And now we just wait. So we're falling right into the winter season now, so I don't expect too much action from this, but once it hits spring, it's gonna start exploding and grow super fast because I've already rooted it during the winter time. Once it hits spring, it doesn't have to root, it just has to grow. So I can see this fruiting once the season comes along. But other than that, let me just test this again with the water. It's really heavy now with water, but still fairly easy to move. So happy and so satisfied with this trellis. I've had my doubts about this, but after using it, putting it together and using it today, I'm a big believer in this trellis, and I might want more because of the convenience of it and how much soil it can hold. The roller wheels is a bonus, and again, it's toxic safe. You don't have to worry about any chemicals leaching into your fruit, so that's freaking awesome. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, please hit that like button. If you guys have any questions about this video or about VEGO Garden Dragon Fruit Trellis, leave it in the comments below and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys want to buy this trellis or interested in it, all of the links is in the description below, so make sure you guys check that out. And if you guys have not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so that way you guys won't miss a single thing. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Grafting Dragon Fruit. Peace.